Hey YouTubers, this is Alice with Wonderland Speaks. I'm back on the road. I'm actually headed now to Pahrump, Nevada, and it's beautiful country. Pahrump is, I found out the other day that there's only one Pahrump in the whole United States, and I didn't know that, and I haven't verified that, so don't hold me to that. But I was actually watching somebody else's video the other day, and they said it, and I never thought about it one way or the other, so it was just fascinating to hear that. But anyway, as I said, Pahrump is about 60 miles outside of Las Vegas. Beautiful country, rural countryside, very small community of about 30,000 people. They have two main highways. Only one of them, Highway 160, is the highway that will bring you from Las Vegas to Pahrump. That's the only road. You get on 160 and just keep driving. You actually go through the mountains, beautiful scenery, and then when you come out on the other side, you're in the desert, and then you're in Pahrump. So, which was one of the determining factors when I decided to move out here. I've lived in Las Vegas, I think 11 years. I moved out here, and I think it was 08. And time has flown. I don't know where the time is gone, but it's gone. And there's so many things that I want to share with you that I wish somebody had told me before I moved out here. Not to imply that those things would have made a difference in my decision to move out here, because it was something that I had thought about for a long time. So, to make a long story short, I just wanted to give you a little background on me. I'm a mature woman, as you can see, African American. I moved to Las Vegas on my own. I didn't have any family here. I had a couple people I went to high school with, husband and wife, and they lived here, had lived here for, I think, 15 years at the time. And I came to visit. And now I had been out here on vacation, just where everybody goes when they come to Las Vegas, on the Strip. And so that's really, for a lot of people, that's all they know about Las Vegas, is the Strip. You don't even think about that people actually live here, work jobs, and do all the regular things that everybody else does. But in reality, they do. We go to work, we, take care of our loved ones, pay our bills. Sometimes I actually forget I live out here until I'm driving at night. You don't notice it so much during the day. You might say, well, how can you not? Well, you just don't. You don't really think about it. You just do. But at nighttime, the city just really comes alive, and you realize you live in the most incredible place that you could live. And time just flies. I've been here more than 11 years, and it doesn't seem like it. Time has flown. You know, I can remember when I was driving out here and I was coming through Arizona, and I was coming, I was at the border. I got stopped by Border Patrol, and it was just random, and which is what they do. You don't know who they're going to stop. It could be you. So you better have your stuff in order. Anyway, they stopped me, pulled me over to the side, and, open up everything. And while they're doing that, they're asking you questions. And the one, after they saw I was no risk, then the one patrolman was just talking. And he asked me what was I going to do. It was obvious I was moving out here. I had stuff all in the back, just like everybody else, like a runaway slave. I had everything that I had for the most part. I had all my personal things, some clothes and stuff. I didn't have my furniture. I had left all that stuff. I was going to come back. Or did I? I don't remember. Anyway, he asked me, what was I going to do? A lot of people come out here, they have no plan. They're so excited. The adrenaline is pumping, and they just know what they see on TV and what people have told them. And they really have not thought it out. I've seen so many people get off a Greyhound bus and only have a bag because they're positive at that moment, and they believe that, I'll get a job. But then when that doesn't work out, they're devastated, and their first thought is to go back home. I can't tell you how many people I've run into this town all the time. I think we get 7,000 new people every month or something that move out here. And they come out here with these thoughts, and I'm not saying they're bad thoughts, but the one thing I say to them that I hope stays with them or with you, if you're thinking about it, is when you get that first no, and you're frustrated, and you're ready to grab your little garbage bag and go back home, you think about why you decided to come in the first place. That's what you want to think about. Think about all the frustrations and things that led you to that point. I mean, look how long it took for you to make that decision. So don't hastily give up. You're not going to come out here and right away have all these friends. You might. There's certain things I think you want to put in place if you want to ensure that. Because you have to remember, if you're coming from a hometown where you've spent most of your life, you've had a lifetime to create that. You have to remember that. And people forget that. They think about what's familiar, and they're here in this place, and all they know is they've got this recording in their head, and all they know is what they've heard and the little experience that they've had since they've gotten here. And they feel so alone because the people that they thought they were going to stay with, that's not really working out, and they're feeling this urgency to make something happen, and that's when bad decisions are made. I just want you to really, now when I decided to come out here, I was staying with my friend, but I had planned for it. When I came out to visit, I put things in place then. I was on the road then. I was driving for some major company back east, and I drove out here. I think I had a run that took me to New Mexico or something. I don't know. But at any rate, I was here. I put things like an apartment. I even got a job. I'm no different than you. I thought when I came out here, I was going to go to the casino. I was going to get me one of those jobs. I was pumped. But that didn't happen. they do something out here, like they call them, they do like a group interview. And they have this room full of people. And you're all applying for the same job. Now, you don't know how many people they're going to hire. It's a big casino. They got thousands of employees. So you don't know what's going on. And then they start playing these games. And they're all centered around the same thing, in my opinion. Theft. They give all these different scenarios, and they literally role play. And they start weeding people out. Now, I'm at, 2/3 of the people are gone. I'm still there, and I'm thinking I got a shot, because I'm absolutely qualified. I can do the job. And, okay, 2/3 along the way, there was me, and I think 4 other people. Now, I'm one of the mature people there, because I would say I was in the 1%. Everybody else was, I would say, under 30. But I'm not intimidated by that. None of that affects me. It got down to the wire. There I was. There was this woman, and I wish I was exaggerating. She looked like she had just woke up. Her skirt was wrinkled. She had on these little cheap flat shoes. And she was, in my opinion, not dressed appropriately. And I'm not saying it's about what you're wearing. She had nothing going for her. But whatever she had, they chose her over me. And I knew then, I said, man, you better recognize what's happening here. And don't get discouraged. You just keep pushing. I know I was at the border and I got sidetracked, but what I wanted to say about that was the border patrolman said to me, after he asked me what I was going to do when I got out here, and I explained to him what my plan was. I had a blueprint plan of what I wanted to establish, because I'm one of those many independent spirits who wanted to start my own business. And I told him what my plan was, and he said, let me tell you something. I see thousands of people that come through this border, and they all have a plan. He said, but 1 year from now, that plan will totally change. And I never forgot it. I never forgot what he said. You have to have an open mind. You have to realize that things are not going to work out exactly the way you thought. You got to be thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. But always be working towards whatever your goal is. And keep it moving. And just do what you need to do. But don't lose yourself and make a lot of bad choices and get hooked up with a lot of bad people. Because this town is full of people waiting on people just like that. One of the things I noticed when I first got here, every man that I would meet when I got here would ask me who I lived with. Well, I've never lived with anyone other than my husband. I've never been a roommate. But out here, that's very common. Very common. Some people, because they thought when they first got here, they were going to, that's what they were going to do. That was the plan. Then there are those people, it was supposed to be temporary, and 2 years later, they're still in that situation for whatever the reason. And like I said, when you are partnered up with somebody like that, it can change at a moment's notice. And oftentimes, when you least expect it, at the worst time, You always got to be thinking ahead. You always got to be preparing for that. It has not been easy. The job that I got when I first got here was at a gas station. Now, at first, I was mad because I didn't come out here more than 2,000 miles to work at a gas station. I was mad as hell. But I had to rethink my strategy. After I got in there and got comfortable, I started meeting a lot of people. I looked at the positive. I didn't know anybody, so that was perfect. I started meeting a lot of people, and I tell you what, the significant people in my life right now are the people that I met the first 6 months that I moved out here. So keep that in mind. I, like so many others, I was coming out of a relationship. So what I didn't want to do, I took those 2,000 plus miles, and I used that as therapy. I got the crying out, got the anger out, got all that crap out of my system so that I could be focused when I got here. But I said one thing to myself, that I was going to do it different in reference to my relationships. I was not going to get all tangled up and get my head all distracted with a man. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't say I wasn't going to get involved with a man. I said I wasn't going to get distracted. I made a promise to myself that I was going to stop having physical relationships when I got out here. Not saying I would have physical relationships, but it had to be about what I wanted, not about what somebody else wanted. So much of what we do is dictated by what somebody else wants. And that's how we live our lives. And I'm no different, but I swore to myself when I got out here, it was going to be different. It's like a recipe. If you are baking something, you have to follow the recipe. Now, if you don't, why do you think the recipe didn't come out right? Because you didn't do it right. Well, life's the same way. I didn't say it was easy. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Trust me, it wasn't. There's so much fear that sets in when you're in unfamiliar territory. But I see a lot of women come out here and they get all tangled up. And then it gets all messed up. And now, basically, their life is just like it was before they came out here. And they're wondering, well, what was the point? So, I'm rambling. I just wanted to get all that out there. I really want to share. These videos are going to be about what my life was like when I first got out here. And I've been saying for, I guess, years now that I was going to make those videos, but I have so much going on, I just hadn't gotten to it. But I am going to do it because I do realize the importance of it, because I didn't have a resource to go to when I first got here. I had to find out for myself, because you know how it is, especially in our community. We get things and just hold on to them like they top secret and can't nobody else know. That's why we don't grow as a community, as a culture, because we hold on to it and don't share it. Well, my philosophy is it's important to share. Open up your arms. Let other people know about it, because the saying is that if you want to know, or if you didn't know, there's at least 1,000 other people out there who wanted to know also. So you're never in a boat by yourself. You just think that you are when stuff's happening. You feel so alone, but you're not alone. So, this is Alice at Wonderland Speaks, and yes, I am driving. I'm getting ready to go into the mountains. So, I'm probably going to lose my connection anyway, because nothing works up through this mountain. So, as I said, Alice at Wonderland Speaks. Please post and subscribe. I'm going to really have some interesting, useful, valuable information that I'm going to be sharing in the upcoming videos that I know that you'll be able to use. Again, Alice at Wonderland Speaks. Subscribe, post, comment, please. If you have any questions about anything, please list it down in the comment section, and I will get to it as quickly as I can. I will talk to you later.